All right, so this is my sprint video for the hit or wait algorithm. So just as a quick recap, since I haven't done this for a while, hit or wait is an algorithm for physical crowdsourcing to coordinate people's actions without telling them where to go. So if you have a bunch of people just walking through a region, the hit or wait algorithm essentially decides when to ask them for help and when to back off and just let them walk, with the hope of getting, say, good coverage over a region or however you want to get tasks done, but with the idea that you're trying to reach some global goal, but that you don't get to control the individual's path, but just gets to ping them about tasks on that path, and you have to be strategic about when to ping them and when to not. Okay, so if we just look at this diagram first on the right, the way to think about this for, let's say, a search problem, let's say someone lost a lost item in a region and you're trying to find it as a bunch of people are walking by who could potentially help you search. If you just set up a geofence around the area, you're going to get situations where the ends get searched a lot because, well, as people are walking into the area, you're just ping them, right? So you're going to get all the search on the periphery. You could be more distributed in your search, right? To do something like node counting, where you say, okay, well, I'm just going to have everyone search only in the places that's been searched the least. So this is going to give me really even search, but because we don't get to plan on people's routes, you might get very few searches, right? So someone might visit an area first where it's already been searched already. So you say, well, you know what? I should be searching somewhere else, so I'm just going to pass on this guy. And the more you pass, the more opportunities you give away. So this is just an improved version of that with a threshold where you say, I'll accept some unevenness to get a little more searches, but it's still highly suboptimal because you're just not getting a lot of searches in. And then hit or wait, if you're smart about when to ask someone to search and when to wait, should give you something like this, right? So actually having good coverage that's more or less even if people don't visit those squares the same amount of times. Okay, so what I'm showing you on the left here is a simulation of the hit or wait algorithm, fully implemented in this simple case, where if you have a map like this of where an item is lost, and a distribution of where people might end up in 30 different paths from this location over to this location. Here's what happens if you get to ping every person exactly where help is needed the most. Imagine you knew what their path was going to be exactly already, right? So in this case, you're getting really good search value, around 16, and you're getting everyone to search exactly at the place where the search is needed. Okay. Now, you could be more greedy, so this is like geofencing, where you just ping people right when they enter the area. You're going to get less value, but because everyone does enter the area in some place, you're going to get all the searches. Okay. Now you can do node counting, which as we saw in the simulation, in the diagram on the right, gives you really even search, and you do, but you only get 9 searches in and the value is not that great. You could do node counting with a threshold, which works really well actually, right? Because you're getting most of the searches and you're getting mostly even search, but still you're missing out on opportunities because you're setting this threshold. Okay, so what I'm showing you at the very end here is a full implementation of the hit or wait algorithm where we're actually doing these searches, reasoning about should I ask the person to hit right now, or might they reach an area where it'd be better for them to search, for example, an area where it hasn't been searched as much. And it's a dynamic program that's running now and actually computing these values and directing people to where to search based on the situation, right? So as people are coming in, now not a lot of people visit these areas. So presumably when people did come in here, you just hit. That's what the algorithm would decide, but that as people are going to other spots, it's maybe telling them to wait when there's opportunities to wait and hit when there's opportunities to hit. So you get this nice distribution given that people are starting here and very few people are ending up here anyway. You're really taking advantage of these and then trying to even these out to the extent possible. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to work on next, the goal is to get this to work with real geolocation data. So that's definitely a goal, but on the algorithm side, one of the weird things is that I have to set a time in terms of how many steps are you supposed to look ahead. And I haven't thought carefully about how that time should be set. I think it should somehow be set in terms of how long we think the person might be in the region, or whether we think there's still something of interest that the person may reach. But there isn't really a sophisticated notion of reachability within our algorithm and simulation setup yet. So I'll take a look at that, and then whatever we do there, I think moving to geodata would be pretty fun, because then we could say, well, if these were actual people's path, can we actually simulate a search and have a good understanding of how lost and found may work if we used people who were not in our control, who were just walking as they wish, but that with this intelligence running in the background, that we could still get really good search coverage, almost as good as even though people's distributions and walk patterns are entirely up to them. So it's a really nice, simple example of seeing this kind of coordinated, opportunistic, uncoordinated movement where people get to do what they want, but we still have this control on top that allows us to get what we want at the same time. It's really exciting just to see this example working. All right, well, that's what I have for my sprint video. Sorry I ran a little long.